What is my channel becoming?
Holding all this love out here in the hall.
Hi folks, Harry here and welcome back to Other Worlds Than These, and today's video is going to be very different to anything I usually do on my channel. If you've never watched any of my videos before, hi, I'm Harry, and I usually make videos about books, but this time I'm going to be making a Taylor Swift video. If you don't know me in person, you may not know that I am a massive Taylor Swift fan. I have to say though, I haven't been a Taylor Swift fan for long. I only really got into her music massively maybe half a year ago, but I've loved almost everything that she has put out and I admire her so much as a songwriter and as a storyteller. And today I'm going to be reviewing my favourite Taylor Swift album, and that is Folklore, a lyrical masterpiece that tells so many stories, and every single line speaks so many volumes. So for each song I'm going to be talking about the lyrics and how I interpret them, because Taylor Swift lyrics, you can interpret them in so many ways. And I'm also going to be giving rankings out of 5. So let's just get into it. Track 1 is The One. Okay, so The One I have given 4 out of 5 stars. It is just a lyrical masterpiece. The first line in this song is, "I'm doing good, I'm on some new shit." And it's so shocking to hear because Taylor just doesn't swear in her songs. Like, I think the first time that she swore in a song was that I did something bad, when she said, "If a man talks shit, then I owe him nothing." But when Folklore starts immediately with the immediate shit, it's so shocking to hear because Taylor Swift's always had such a good girl vibe and she doesn't really swear in her songs. But then when Folklore dropped and you first hear her say shit in the first line, it's like, oh my god, Taylor Swift is now being free, she's being honest with her words, and it's just absolutely amazing. I think one of my favourite lines from this song is, you know, the greatest films of all time were never made, and that speaks so many volumes. I interpret that as like missing opportunities, but also like failed relationships and things that like could have happened. This whole album has a massive theme of cheating and loyalty in relationships, and The One perfectly sets the tone for the whole album. So it's like if one person in this relationship hadn't have cheated, then the whole relationship could have blossomed into something far better, and that's what I see this song as. Yeah, The One, 4 stars. It's so good. Track number 2 is Cardigan. Cardigan, I've given 5 stars. It's just... Cardigan is lyrical perfection. The whole metaphor of this song is being a cardigan under someone's bed. You put me on and said I was your favourite. It's like she used to mean something, but now she doesn't, and she feels worthless. But again, it's talking about relationships and loyalty. You put me on and said I was your favourite. It's like in the relationship, he is lying to her. And this song also does tie in with August and Betty, which I will talk about later. But Cardigan is from Betty's perspective, looking back at her relationship with James. If you don't understand, just wait until August and Betty. But she's looking back on her relationship with James, and the way that she views that relationship that she had while she's a little bit older is just so powerful. But also, when you are young, they assume you know nothing. It's like she was frustrated that no one believed that she knew where her life was going. But also older Betty looking back saying, I knew everything when I was young. She really did know where she was going, and it still frustrates her to this day that no one believed her. I just have to clarify again, this is how I interpret the lyrics. You may interpret it in a completely different way, but that's just how I see this song. But also, you drew stars around my scars and now I'm bleeding. Oh my god, that could be interpreted in so many ways, and I could have a whole video breaking down you drew stars around my scars and now I'm bleeding. But sticking with like the theme of blood, like marked me like a blood stain. Bloodstains are not pleasant. When something's marked like a blood stain, it's like a scar, something that will never leave. And like a toxic relationship sticking with you for the rest of your life, marking you like a blood stain. That's some deep shit. Yeah, Cardigan, 5 stars. It is a lyrical masterpiece. Track 3 is The Last Great American Dynasty. So The Last Great American Dynasty I gave 4.5 stars. It's not a perfect song, but it's just so catchy. I don't have a massive lyrical breakdown for this one because I feel like obviously there's so much to unpack. It's a Taylor Swift song. But for me, when I listen to this song, I just enjoy the beat, I enjoy the music, and I just want to do this to it. I think that's all I really have to say about The Last Great American Dynasty. But it is a fantastic song and I really enjoy listening to it. And track 4 is Exile. Right, Exile I've given 7 out of 5 stars. It is just absolute perfection. There is no way that Exile could have been any better. It is just a pure work of art and oh my god. Exile makes me feel so many things. Justin Vernon's voice pairs so well with Taylor's and it creates such an amazing sound. This song to me is about miscommunication in relationships. In the chorus where Justin is talking about how she never gave any signs, but Taylor's like, I gave so many signs, and it's like, oh, Exile. Exile is just such a heartbreaking song. It's like two people trying to keep their relationship together by a single thread, an invisible string, if you will. But it's not working, but they desperately want to keep it together, but there's such a lack of communication in the relationship. Oh, Exile. But yeah, Exile, 7 out of 5 stars. Just literally every song on this album is a lyrical masterpiece, and this one, I think when it comes to the lyrics, this one is the smartest. It's just fantastic. Track 5 is Mighty's Ricochet. Mighty's Ricochet, 5 out of 5 stars. It's so good. To me, this is about a woman in a relationship who has died and her partner only cares about her and is sad now that she's gone and she didn't feel appreciated enough while she was alive. That's what this song means to me. I may have got that completely wrong, but that's just how I see this song. And it is so beautifully heartbreaking. Like, if I'm dead to you, then why are you at the wake cursing my name? It's almost like she doesn't want her partner there. Like, she's like, no, you didn't appreciate me while I was alive. Why should you appreciate me now that I'm dead? You never cared anyway. It's so heartbreaking. 5 out of 5 stars. Track 6 is Mirrorball. Mirrorball is my least favourite track on the album. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, but that's still really, really good. I love every single song on this album. This one just happens to be at the bottom. This song kind of has like 1989 vibes, and I don't really connect with 1989, like, lyrically. It's just, I'm not a massive fan of Taylor Swift doing pop, and this song feels so similar to 1989. It almost feels like it could have been from 1989 and no one would have batted an eyelid. But this song reminds me of like a primary school disco. So it's got the nostalgic feel, but it's also got like that 80s vibe, and obviously I wasn't alive in the 80s, but that's just what it feels like to me. Yeah, I haven't got much to say about Mirrorball, but it is very good. Track 7 is 7. 7 I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. And to me, it's talking about the innocence of childhood and how it doesn't really matter when you're younger, you just kind of live out your life. But also this song just dives straight into it. Like, you press play and it's like, please! It just immediately gets started. And it's quite shocking. It feels a little bit incohesive with the rest of the album, but it's still really, really good. It's just one of my least favourites. It doesn't speak that much to me. So I rated it 3.5 out of 5. The track 8 is August. And I can see it's lost in the memory. August slipped away to a moment in time, 'cause it was never mine. So August I've rated 5 out of 5 stars. It's amazing. I love the way that it ties into the whole Cardigan Betty storyline, and it's told from the perspective of the girl that James cheated on Betty with. This song's the kind of song that just makes you want to dance. It's just really, really nice to listen to, if that makes sense. It's just a really easygoing song that you just kind of put on and you just kind of want to like vibe to it. But this song's talking about James and, well, she's nicknamed Augustine, but she doesn't really have a name. James and Augustine's love affair. This song kind of reminds me a little bit of Back to December from Speak Now. Like, just the whole concept of, like, looking back on a fling from the past a few months ago, and the song just generally has a really like joyous vibe. But the lines like, when I pulled up and said get in the car and meet me behind the mall, it's like kind of, I don't want to say reminiscent because I am currently a teenager and I don't want to talk as though it's like past experiences for me and I'm like, oh, do you remember when everything was like that? Because technically I'm not really at that stage yet, but I can still feel how a 30-year-old woman writing this song and singing this song might feel a lot of nostalgia for things like that, like meet me behind the mall. It has teenage vibes. There is one other thing I want to say about the song though. This is my mum's favourite song from Folklore, so hi mum if you're watching. I hope you're watching because this video is about Folklore, so I'll be disappointed if you're not watching it. Track 9 is This Is Me Trying. This Is Me Trying, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. For me, the lyrics, 6 out of 5, but it's just like the general beat and the tone and the tune that I'm not a massive fan of, but the lyrics are complete perfection. So if you've seen the Folklore Long Pond Studio Sessions documentary on Disney+, Taylor talks about how this song is kind of representing like an alcoholic and this person beating their addiction. This song also has a lyric, but I didn't pour the whiskey. And it's like this person wanted to pour the whiskey, but stopped themselves to try and overcome their addiction. And it's like, this song's really depressing. But also, whiskey. This is a common theme in Taylor Swift songs. If you remember in Gorgeous, she says, whiskey on ice. And it's like, whiskey for Taylor is like a metaphor talking about, I'm assuming, this one guy that she's had in the past. I'm not sure, but whiskey is a common theme in her songs. This is me trying. I just wanted you to know that this is me trying. At least I'm trying. It's like this person is doing everything they can to stay mentally stable, and that's why this song is so depressing, because I feel like it does touch a lot on mental health. But yeah, 4 out of 5 stars. I love This Is Me Trying. I could listen to it on repeat all day. I'm never gonna get tired of it. So track 10 is Illicit Affairs. Illicit Affairs I gave 5 stars. It is just amazing. It's talking about cheating in relationships like virtually all of these songs are. And it's really a song about loyalty. Don't call me kid, don't call me baby, look at this godforsaken mess that you've made me. But also, look at this idiotic fool that you've made me. It's like in this relationship she was being cheated on, but she was portrayed as an idiotic fool for not realising. That's what this song says to me. But yeah, this song is so powerful and I absolutely love it. So 5 stars. 5 stars. Absolutely love it. And track 11 is Invisible String. Invisible String, 10 out of 5 stars. This is my favourite song on the album. This is one of my favourite songs that Taylor Swift has ever written, has ever released. It is just pure perfection. The whole concept of all along there was an invisible string tying you to me is an amazing way of thinking about a relationship and two people that have such a strong connection that it feels like there is an invisible string, something tying them together to keep them together. And that's also kind of tying into Exile, where they're like trying to mend this relationship and they're trying to keep it together as long as possible because they're connected by this invisible string tying them together. But this song also ties into Cardigan and even Willow from Evermore. Like if you watch the music video for Willow, it's like this one single thread of gold tying her to him. It's like, I feel like the concept of the invisible string is weaved into so many Taylor Swift songs, not just in Folklore and even Evermore, but also just her previous songs as well. Just something connecting two people to keep them together for as long as possible, something tying them together. It's like a metaphor for something stronger than love, something stronger than friendship, something physical that is keeping them together, like they are destined to be together. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful metaphor and I absolutely love it. Invisible String, 10 out of 5 stars. It is pure perfection. Then track 12 is Madwoman. Or does she mouth you forever? So Mad Woman, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. It's not a perfect song by any means, but I really enjoy listening to it. And the only thing that I have to say about this song is the line, does she smile or does she mouth fuck you forever? This was the first song that anyone ever heard Taylor Swift say fuck, and it is so powerful. When any other artist swears in a song, it's like, okay, they've sworn, cool. But when Taylor swears in a song, because she seems so innocent, but really she's not, it's like, it's so powerful, and in a way it's kind of adorable, and I'm obsessed with it. So the only reason I really listen to Mad Woman is just to listen to her swear, because it's so powerful and I absolutely love it. Oh wait, I just thought about another really important thing to say about Mad Woman. It's like, every time you call me crazy, I get more crazy. And when you say I seem angry, I get more angry. But that's only for women. But when men get angry and mad, they're not seen as crazy. But when women do it, it's like,
oh no, you're absolutely crazy.
So it's kind of a commentary on like gendered prejudice, and I absolutely love that. I think it's really powerful. But yeah, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Track 13 is Epiphany. Epiphany, I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. The lyrics, to me, I think this song has some of the best lyrics that Taylor Swift has ever written. It's just the tune to me. It's just, this song is so depressing. It's like kind of difficult to listen to. Whenever I really sit down and listen to this song, I cry every single time. This song is dedicated to Taylor Swift's grandfather, and I think that is so amazing. This song not only represents war, like a soldier in war, like just a flesh wound, here's your rifle, and sir, I think he's bleeding out, there's some things you just can't speak about. Like, it's talking about PTSD and the things that soldiers experience after watching something so horrible, or feeling or experiencing something so traumatizing in war. But this song also is a massive commentary on the pandemic. Doc, I think she's crashing out. Like that line, Doc, I think she's crashing out, it's some things you just can't speak about. It's a commentary on the essential health workers at the moment and how they are going through something so horrible, looking after all of these dying people from the virus, and how they are powering through it like a soldier in war. This song means so many things to me, and lyrically is an absolute masterpiece, so 4.5 out of 5 stars. Taylor really, really knows how to pull on people's heartstrings, and this song exemplifies that perfectly. It is just so amazing. It's often seen at the bottom of so many people's folklore rankings, but this song is one of my favourites. It's just absolutely incredible, and it does not get the attention it deserves. Track 14 is Betty. Betty, I gave 5 out of 5 stars. I love the country feel. I love how it ties into Cardigan and August. The harmonica that you hear at the beginning, it's just like really like, ooh, like nice country vibes. It's awesome. This song is filled with teenage experiences. Like, Betty, I won't make assumptions about why you switched your homeroom, but I think it's because of me. And also, the worst thing that I ever did was what I did to you. It's showing such extreme regret. But it's also like, Betty, one time I was riding on my skateboard when I passed your house. It's like I couldn't breathe. It's like a really cheesy, but also so cute and adorable teenage romance. And it is such a joy to listen to. I absolutely love it. But also, we've got to talk about the line. If I just showed up at your party, would you have me? Would you want me? Would you tell me to go myself or lead me to the garden?
In the garden, would you trust me? If I told you it was just this sort of thing. I'm only 17. I don't know anything, but I know I missed you.
Sorry, I just literally said all of the lines to the chorus. I'm probably going to speed that up in editing. Let's just do a line-by-line breakdown of the chorus. If I just showed up at your party, would you have me? Would you want me? Would you tell me to go myself or lead me to the garden? It's like James is being rejected by Betty, but he's saying, if I just showed up, how would you treat me? Like, after I've done this absolutely horrible thing to you, I'm not really massively expecting forgiveness, but how would you treat me if I just showed up. Like, would you take me back? Would you let me date you again? Will you want to be with me again? And this question is never really answered. Also, would you tell me to go myself? Like, obviously Taylor swearing is just a whole new level of amazing. It's just so powerful in the way that she does it. Would you trust me if I told you it was just a summer thing? I'm only 17. It's like, James is really young and he's done something bad, but he's learned from his mistakes. Like, he's only 17, it was just a summer thing, and he's willing to redeem himself. He's willing to make everything better again, and it's so wholesome. But also, I feel like James is not a very great guy, because he's talking about Augustine saying, James, James, get in the car. But he's like, but I dreamt of Betty all summer long. Did you though, James? Did you? You were cheating on Betty with Augustine. Were you really thinking about Betty? I'm not too sure. But you can just tell the amount of forgiveness that he has. It's a traditional love triangle, and it's really, really cute. And as a massive fan of like YA books with love triangles being a very common trope, love triangles aren't often done very well, but this love triangle is so fleshed out, it's so amazing, and I absolutely love it. Yeah, Betty, 5 stars. I've been talking about Betty for so long. Right, track 15 is Peace. No, I can never give you peace. This song I've rated 5 out of 5 stars as well. In the Long Pond studio sessions, Taylor was talking about how she heard this instrumental and thought, this is a song about peace. But she turned the lyrics into something where she's like, no, in this relationship, I couldn't give you peace. And she's coming to terms with the fact that she could never give him peace. So it's like a contrast where the song is so peaceful and it screams peace, but she can't provide that. And this song is so heartbreaking because of that. It's so beautiful and I absolutely love it. Track 16 is quite possibly the most heartbreaking track, and it is Hoax. Hoax I've given 5 out of 5 stars. It is so devastating, it is so heartbreaking. Your faithless love's the only hoax I believe in. That sounds like a line from like English literature classes that teachers will make students spider diagram and analyse the shit out of, because there is so much to unpack. Your faithless love's the only hoax I believe in. Don't want no other shade of blue but you. No other sadness in the world would do. Like, she's coping with the sadness of this faithless love, but she wouldn't be able to deal with anything else. She's trying to cling on to this relationship because she loves someone so much, even though it's causing her pain. This song really makes me rethink the whole album, and it completely changes your perspective on everything. After I listened to Hoax, I went back and listened to the whole album again, and it meant something completely different to me. Hoax was so heartbreaking and so powerful that it had the ability to change the meaning of every single song that preceded it. Hoax is one of the best, most powerful songs that Taylor has ever written. I feel like if this whole album was written as a poetry book in poetry format, it would go down in history as one of the best pieces of literature, and it would be studied in schools. I don't know why this album's been out for like 6 months, and it hasn't had like a poetry or novelization like adaptation, and it really, really should. I feel like that really, really needs to happen, because each song, they all tie in to each other. Like, they all intertwine, but they're also just so powerful as standalone songs, and they all mean something so powerful. And it is truly incredible. Hoax, 5 stars, it's amazing. And finally, track 17, The Lakes. So The Lakes I've rated 5 out of 5 stars. This song has a lot of references to literature, and being a massive fan of literature, there are some really noisy cars driving past my house right now. As a massive fan of English literature, like, take me to the lakes where all the poets went to die. She's talking about this area in England where, like, William Wordsworth, there's a play on words at some point in this song. I can't remember the exact lyric where she says Wordsworth, but she's talking about lake district in England where all of these poets lived and died. I really, really like the lakes. There's not much else I can say about it, but I absolutely love it. So after 45 minutes of raw footage, that is my review of Taylor Swift's album Folklore. So my ranking as of right now: Invisible String, Exile, Betty, Cardigan, Illicit Affairs, The Lakes, August, Peace, Hoax, My Tears Ricochet, The Last Great American Dynasty, Epiphany, This Is Me Trying, Mad Woman, The One, 7 and Mirrorball. If you'd like to, you can leave your ranking of the songs in the comments below. I will be reading every single comment because I want to see what you guys interpret this album as and what parts of this album that you enjoy or the parts that you don't enjoy, because Taylor Swift's lyrics and music, there are so many different ways that you can interpret it, so I'm really interested in your thoughts on it. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big fat thumbs up. If you want to see a full album review of Evermore, please let me know in the comments down below. All of my social media links are in the description below, and I will see you next time with another video. Goodbye.